Hi everyone, welcome back to another Shnuckatwo video. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, but today I just wanted to talk about Attack on Titan. I just finished watching it, and I'm just gonna give a short review and some of my thoughts on it. Um, I guess I'll put a spoilers warning if you haven't watched the show. I'm going to spoil it, so click off the video if you haven't watched it yet. I do recommend you go watch it for sure. Do not get spoiled. A lot of people, when I was watching the show, told me you do not want it to get spoiled, and they were right, because I won't elaborate, just you do not want it to get spoiled. So if you're considering even watching it at all, please click off the video. If you ever already watched it, this is for you. This is my review on it, right? So my first thoughts after watching was just like, wow, it was very well executed. I think it was a very, very well put together show. The plot of it, if you just look at it from a pure plot perspective, from the mechanics of the story and whatever, right? It was like absolutely amazing. Like, I think the amount of twists in there, like over and over and over again, you never knew what was coming next. That was perfect, right? The plot was very, very well written. I will say that. Um, I There's a lot of things I like about it, and some things I don't like too much about it, which is still fine. Um, I think I personally, I'll start with some of the things. I'll do a sandwich. Some things I like, some things I don't like, some things I liked. Like, I think I liked the messaging in there. Wait, like all the stuff about love and stuff was good. Um, like I really like the brother episode. That was nice. Like, there's like very. I think the good thing about watching anime is like subtle or like more forced messaging in other, like if I was watching dub version, right, instead of sub, or like just an English show, basically a remake but in English, I think I would hate the subtle messaging, because I think it throws it at you in the face, like very much so, but you don't realize it because it's another language. Like, I feel like, I attribute a lot of the like cheesiness of the messaging to being lost in translation. Like, oh my god, this is such a strong brotherly bond. Like, if they said that in English, like, what the heck. But because it's just subbed, I'm like, oh, it probably sounds much better in reality, right? You just like shape it up in your head to be whatever best version of like the script you envision it to be. And I think that's a good thing about watching like a show in another language a lot of the times. Like, I think, sure, it detracts a lot. You have to read the subtitles and maybe it's not as immersive, but it adds a lot too, because you're literally inferring the best version of the show in your head. It gives you more creative liberty with the show, honestly. It's like reading a book, right? It gives you more interpretation. Just like if you don't know what they're actually saying, you can only use the translations to guide you. And in that sense, I really, really liked some of the messaging. Um, and by messaging, I mean just like the deeper level of plot with like the Mikasa and Eren story, and that, like, I thought it was really good. Like, it really reminded me of Interstellar with that whole thing. Like, yeah, that was very good. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't think I watched the show in the best setting possible. I watched half of it in a car while I was moving. I couldn't really hear the audio. I could read the subtitles, obviously. I could tell what's going on, but I forgot. I'm really bad at remembering characters, so I forgot half the characters, and I was like kind of confused at who was who. Like, I got the general gist of the plot, obviously, but like some finer details were lost. Apparently, it's probably really good on rewatch because there's so many plot twists. So I would want to watch it again sometime in the far future, probably. But it was quite good, I thought. Yeah, it's all jumbled it up at this point. I need to. Oh my god, I haven't made a video in so long, so I can't even commentate properly. But I would say, um, I think partially, like, you could view the whole show as just a glorified like war movie. It kind of is. Like, I think a lot of the fight scenes and whatnot are great, but they're not really necessary to the plot, right? Like, realistically, it could have been shortened. Like I could have read this in a book, but I really enjoyed the fight scenes for sure. But what I'm saying is like a lot of things were like kind of dragged, not dragged. It's just like I think it was more about the epic fight scenes. Like that contributed a greater chunk to it than the actual story did. Like sure, it was a great story. I think it was a really really well done story actually, and like I said, the messaging was great. But the proportion of time spent on all the fighting scenes rather than developing a story was a lot, which is fine. But it's just not my cup of tea. You know, like I haven't watched that much other animes, but the only other one I've watched similar, well, so I've watched 3 as of now, right? JJK, Mob Psycho, and this one. Mob Psycho is still my favorite. This one's probably a close second. Maybe, yeah, pretty close second. Yeah. But the thing about JJK is there's no plot. It's pure fight scenes. Like, sure, there's a like very very minimal plot, but it's literally just fight scene after fight scene and fight scene. That's it. Like, that's why I didn't like JJK that much. Like, sure, the fight scenes were cool. Like with Attack on Titan, like the fight scenes are really really good on par with JJK, I think. But like, there's actual good story, and like that makes up for the amount of fight scenes there are, which I do enjoy. It's just like, I prefer a more like I thought Mob Psycho was a really good balance. Like, oh, the other problem I had with AOT is the characters were not that relatable. It is hard to do when you're making an anime about war. Like, sure, on some levels, when they're talking about the love stuff, sure, that's relatable. When they're talking about, I don't know, like, like, responsibility and, like, like, there was some random existentialism thrown in there. But, like, when they're talking about that stuff, okay, maybe you can relate, But half the time, they're just like, oh my god, we need to sacrifice our lives for the entirety of humanity. Oh my god, we're sacrificing our lives for our comrades again. Oh my god, we're dying again. We're fighting to death again. It's just that over and over again. And, like, sure, in that situation, I get it. It's a show about war. You have to do that. Like, that's the whole point of the show, right? But, like, you really can't relate to the characters. I have never sacrificed myself for the sake of humanity, let alone for another person, And, like, they do that every single, like, episode, basically. There's one sacrifice or something like this. Someone dies. And, like, sure, right? It's very necessary, very needed to keep the show moving. It's a very core part of the show. But it just makes the characters very unrelatable. Like, parts of them are very relatable, but the parts of them are relatable are the more, like, message heavy subplots, like the Mikasa Eren subplot thing, which is basically kind of the main plot at the end. But and, like, the more, I guess you can interpret some of the things to be, like, more catered towards everyday life. And I understand it's not the point of the anime. I'm not, like, at this point, it's not a critique. I think the anime itself is very, 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 very well done. At this point, I'm just critiquing to my personal tastes, right? So, like, it's not saying that, oh, it was bad because of this. It was just, I did not like it as much as I could have because it was so war heavy, and not more focused on the, like, more, like, emotional, like, like, more subtle, like, relatable things, Yeah, so I thought it was very good, but I don't think it's, like, my cup of tea. But I still liked it very much. I would give it, like, a full, like, 8.5, 8 out of 10. Like, it's definitely not my style, I think. I would definitely rewatch it. Like, it's very good. Like, this is the thing I want people watching to understand. I loved watching it. right? I think it was very entertaining. Some parts were a bit slow, but it's fine. However, I just think like if I choose to watch the show, this is not. It gave me some of what I really want from a show, with the ending. With like, I really love when shows come full circle. A lot of shows obviously do, but the ending, perfect. You know, like the Mikasa Eren thing, the Ymir whatever with the king. Okay, that was really good. I like that part a lot. Um, but you know, it also had so much focus on the action and stuff like that. I just don't really need from a show, which I like it in a show, sure, but it's doesn't make it like my favorite show. You know, I recognize it's a like perfect show. Not perfect. It's a very well done show, but it's just like not perfectly attuned to my liking. I liked it. Was it my favorite show? No. Will it be my favorite show? No. Was it very good? Yes. But I would prefer like something like Mob Psycho like it to every time. I feel like, you know, and even Mob Psycho had to a little. I guess you have to make it fantastical in some way. But yeah, it was great. It was great. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. Either my brain's really tired or I've just lost my ability to construct thoughts clearly, because I feel like I have not been elucidating my thoughts very clearly. Oh, I think I'm just really tired. I've been skiing the past couple days, and that's why I haven't been uploading. But I've been skiing the past couple days, and it's just been absolutely tiring. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say on the show. Again, like 8.5 out of 10. Very, very great. Favorite character? I'm just asking myself. I think I liked Armin the best because I found him to be the most relatable. Like every single other character had some like insane abilities in fighting or whatever, and Armin was just Armin, you know. Like, well, he was undoubtedly very, very useful, but like, you know, he was just like, oh, I'm so weak, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, that's pretty relatable. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say. If you haven't watched the show, I highly recommend you do. I really want to watch it again for the first time too. It was like it's really fun. Like I think like, you know, when it's a good show when you finish the show and you're like, wow, it's just like reading a good book. You know, at the end you have to take a couple like an hour or two, maybe a couple an hour or two to like, or a day, to just like really like sink in and be like, oh, it ended. Wow, like these characters are like gone, you know, because after it ends, like the story of the characters ends, you know, and sad. But yeah. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas if you celebrate chests. But what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Also, this Create World I made when I left for skiing, and I came back, and my friends have played on it. And it's like so strange. When I first joined, to be like, wow, you know, the world has changed so much since I left. I don't know. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I will try and keep continuing daily uploads from now on. Yeah. Is that all I have to say? I think that's all I have to say. I don't know how long I talked for. What is that? Oh. Alright, anyways. Okay, I'm probably gonna go brush my teeth and go to sleep now, if there's nothing else. Yeah. Alright, thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.